The king's back. 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 The king's back.
Yeah, what's up? What's good? What's happening? Welcome to my live stream. I am the actual King Smith, and this is my Wednesday vlog where I come on and talk about whatever the funk I want to talk about. Most of what I discuss and do on my live streams is about mindset, getting your mind right, changing how you think about yourself moving forward so that you can improve your life. So I hope to I hope to give some value to somebody out there tonight. I'm streaming across multiple platforms. If there's a like button that is on your platform, what I ask is you do what the scrolling message is saying down there at the bottom and hit that like button. That helps me out on the the algorithm. Let's see if we got anybody in the building early tonight. Shout out to God Happened to Me, aka my boo thing, said good evening. Thank you, baby, for tuning in and saying good evening. I hope you are having a pleasant evening at Casa de King. All right. And let's see if we got anybody else. We don't have anybody else early, so let's get into it. I had this thought as Michelle Castle and myself was in Richmond, Virginia last week. We went and saw internet comedian, social media comedian. He's a comedian. Kev on Stage, Kevin Fredericks, aka Kev on Stage. And he has a tour, and I'm going to say the name of the tour wrong. So let me see if I can look this up. Kev on Stage tour. It is called Back Pew something another. Man, Back Pew Kids, Back Pew, whatever. He has a tour. It's jumping. It was hilarious. Live from the Back Pew tour. There we go. And whether you're like a church person or not, churchy, if you will, or not, it was still a good show. It was a fantastic performance. They had music, they had entertainment. It was some laughs that was given, but it was also some messages. And one comedian Alton Alton Williams. I should have had this live and prepped before I got going here. Let me look up this guy's name real quick because I want to make sure that I get it right. This guy, yeah, Alton Walker. On Instagram, he's Alton Walker Show. ALTONWALKER Show. SHOW. This fool was not only a stand-up comedian, but he was also the drummer, and man, he was killing it. But he had a message about walking into a room knowing your worth, like walking in there knowing that you belong there, that you belong in the room. And I've heard that message said multiple times, but it was the way that he said it and the additional points that he added to it that really resonated, not just with Michelle, but with me as well. And it was one of the things out of all of the jokes, punchlines, that had occurred during that tour that really stuck with both of us. So um, I want to talk about that today because I think sometimes people need to be reminded of what their worth is, as I often see people undervalue their sales. And I have a couple of things that I just want to highlight, and we're going to be out for the night. So if you're tuning in live, I appreciate you rocking with me. If you're tuning in on the replay as well, thank you. Let's get started by saying this. You are not a clearance item. You are not a last minute deal. You are not a take what you can get type individual. Quite simply, you are worth what you command. Somewhere along the line, sometimes people forget and they're convinced that what they give requires discounts. I want to be liked. I want to be in the room. Therefore, I'm going to dim myself so that I don't outshine others. No, shine, show yourself. Do not undervalue what you are worth. Your success doesn't mean you have to shrink around others. Make yourself big. Make yourself bigly, right? Big your back up. Because look, I'm here to tell you that every time you discount your own worth, you are signing your own devaluation. It's not about having an ego about yourself. That's not it. It's about aligning properly. All right. You don't want to roll down royalty just to fit into a room full of peasants. No, you walk in like you royalty. You walk in like you own the room. Even if you walking into a room with Jeff Bezos, walk into that room like you own it. All right. Walk in with your worth and let the world adjust to it. That's both good and bad. So let's talk about it. All right. I'm trying to figure out why people discount their worth just to be chosen. This is something that I don't do. So I don't understand it. Observationally, I think that some people just aren't confident in who they are and they just want to be liked. They just want to be desired. So they discount their own worth just to get picked. People that do that don't really understand why them devaluing themselves doesn't work in the long term. I can't think of a situation in which devaluing yourself does work for you, unless, quite frankly, you want to be left alone. You don't want people to know that they can depend on you. And if that's the case, devalue yourself and live your life that way and see how far you'll get. I can't think of many stories, right, that you get to certain places on your own. Somebody that I'm really inspired by is David Goggins. I've talked about David Goggins on my channel. He was a guy that ended up becoming a Navy SEAL. He was severely overweight at one point, didn't have two nickels to rub together, and now he is a very inspirational, motivational speaker. He's done the Navy SEALs. He's broken all kind of world records and stuff. And There was a bit of him having to understand his own worth to get to where he wanted to go. If he didn't believe in himself, if he didn't believe that he could be a Navy SEAL after being 300 and some odd pounds, if he didn't believe that he could go out and run, 5 marathons in a week, right? Then he wouldn't be able to get to where he's at now, being a successful author who he's dyslexic. Navy SEAL, successful author, dyslexic. He didn't let that hold him back. He did not let that hold him back because he understood and he knew what his worth was worth. He did not devalue himself. I'm also trying to figure out, why do people settle for less when they deserve more? Think about what's going on in the world right now. There is a lot of panic about employment. I'm a federal worker. I am a federal employee. And with where I sit, even I'm not safe. But I can tell you this, I'm also not worried either. I understand my worth. And while the market is going to dictate what I would be able to rebound or get into, I'm not worried because I understand what my worth is. I understand the value that I could bring to someone or an organization, or if I decide to just go in business for myself. I believe I have the knowledge and ability to do it and the right people around me to make it work, because I don't settle for less when it comes to the things that I want. At one point in life, I used to be that way. And through hard work and some help, that has changed. But I'm done settling for less. I've put in too much work, and you have too, to where you do not have to settle. Go out there and get what it is that you deserve, because you deserve it. You're not entitled to it. You are not entitled to it. I want to make sure that people understand the difference in that message. You're not entitled to anything. But when you put in the work, you gain the skills, you gain the knowledge, you gain the know-how, and you increase your value. You go out there and you take what you've earned. You take what you are given. Go out there and grab it. Don't just settle for anything. Oh man, I guess I'll go and I'll take this job because, you know, I got to make ends meet. You are 5 steps behind already if that's your mindset. Have a plan, execute that plan, build value in your life, and go out there and take what you're worth. Plain and simple. Like, I can say it that easy, but a lot of people don't understand that. And it took me a while to get to where I was able to understand it myself. Another thing that I want to bring up and highlight here is, why do certain people silence their standards just to be accepted? There is an old supervisor of mine. He was an Air Force and a Navy veteran, and he is no longer here on this earth. Rest in peace. Um, he talked about doing things to the standard, right? I was in the Air Force, and the Air Force's core values is, one of them is excellence in all we do. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it wasn't like I was excellent all the time, but I was excellent when it mattered. I can think about sometimes, and it's always funny when you can look back on things in hindsight and realize where you could have been better. Especially if you're learning. If you're learning and you're living, you can go back and look at those times and be like, I could have given more. I follow Coach Prime, that's Deion Sanders, the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes college football team. He is also a very successful college player, a very successful pro player. He's in the Hall of Fame, right? He has earned the respect that he's gotten to based off of the work that he puts in. And something that he talks about every single time is never taking the playoff. And he looks for that kind of stuff. He looks for effort from people that plays on this team. Now, if you measure Colorado's first season to their second season, they definitely made some improvements. And if you watch his son's YouTube channel, right, they're giving a behind the scenes, and a lot of the things that he talks about are very reminiscent of the stuff that I got when I was in the military, right? Doing things right, doing things proper, never taking a break. And in my job, I couldn't take a break. If I took a break in my job, somebody might die. That's what kind of pressure of a job that I had. If the pilots at any point took a break, they're killing everybody in there. If the maintenance people were to phone it in, people could die. So I understood at a very young age what it means to give excellence in all that you do. And there are some things that I wish that I could go back and do over again, especially with like high school football. My uncle, Nate, shout out to Nate. He sometimes watches my live streams whenever he can. Nate used to always talk about taking advantage of the opportunities that you have to build your worth. And he used to drive home these messages all the time. And my uncle Nate is somebody who he doesn't mind me sharing this. This is his testimony. He shared it very publicly, but he made a very bad decision before his 20s in which a lot of his time he lost his freedom, right? He was in jail. He lost his freedom. And when he got out, he made the changes necessary to where he didn't go back, right? Completely turned his life around. Spent a lot of time with his nephews until he had his own kids and his own family and everything like that. But he really instilled a lot of that stuff about working hard, knowing your worth, things of that nature, because he understood as somebody that had a good bit of their 20s taken away from them what it really means to be free, be able to build your value, build your worth, and make things work. He understood that. A lot of Americans, right? You're born into freedom. You're born into situations where some situations are better than others, but comparatively, especially as somebody that has literally traveled over the world, we have nothing but opportunities here that people would kill for, literally, right? If they were the Hunger Games, situations in which they put 10-year-olds in the same room from some of these other countries into the same room with the 10-year-olds from the US and said, may the best person win, that iPad kid that was raised on iPads and tablets, I would fear for them being able to survive against that same 10-year-old from Thailand or the Philippines that doesn't go to school in shoes, that might wear the same shirt 4 days in a row, right? They know what it means to survive. And we say the winner that comes out of this gets the chance to, have the opportunities that people are given in the US. They would take that in a heartbeat, and I would put my money on that kid. That kid that doesn't have but wants, right? Because they understand what their worth could be. And they don't take it for granted. And I think too often, sometimes people undervalue themselves because they take what they are worth for granted. So think about that. Think about that. And if you're somebody that's struggling with it, you could end it tonight by walking into the room, chest back, shoulders up, head up, knowing what your value is. So this is the episode for every person who forgot who they are. This is the episode for people who are tired of shrinking, tired of being undervalued, and ready to reclaim your identity. All right? Don't discount yourself. Don't beg to be seen. Be seen. Let your light shine. Walk into where you need to be, not discounted, but at full price, baby, because that's who you are and that's what you do. Thanks for tuning in. Hope y'all have a great week. And I'll be back next Wednesday. Oh, but I do have a comment here. God Happened to Me said, I remember when I started my photography business, someone had to have this conversation with me. My prices were so low that she said that no one would take me seriously. And that was the next comment. I'm going to put that up on the screen here. There's a really good buddy of mine, Perry Productions. His I think he's really undervaluing himself, and I hope he watches this. And I've told him this. I've told a couple of people that they're really undervaluing themselves. I believe that you are an excellent photographer. I've seen your work. I've heard you talk about it. I'm curious, and maybe you don't have the time, babe. You know, how you could really make that work for you. You said in a follow-up that at the beginning you were undervaluing yourself and it was a bad business decision. You're an excellent photographer. You know the work, you know the technical things that you need to do, and you have an eye for it. So when you first started, I'm curious what made you think that you didn't belong when you first started. You said send him the link. I should send him the link. I'm about to wrap things up though. But he watches my stuff on the replay. So he's gonna hear me call him out. And I'm curious what he's gonna have to say about it when he does. My brother's the same way. My brother severely undervalues himself. My brother, I don't want to put standards on him. My brother should be traveling the world, sending me photos, or I should be looking up his Instagram, like what is food at right now? Because I think he's extremely talented, he's funny, he's intelligent, and he's smart. But I don't think he values himself the way that he should. I am saying this publicly. I don't think he watches my stuff, but I'm saying this publicly. I think he severely undervalues himself. There is no way somebody as talented as he is shouldn't be a multimillionaire by now. I mean, I get why he's not, right? There's drive too. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have the drive, you're not going to be there. And now this could be my standards that I push on him. It could very well be my standards that I push on him. But when I see talent, I like to highlight it and call it out. I also like to acknowledge talent when I see it. People that do nails and do nails really well. They do hair and they do hair really well. I'm a gamer, right? So folks that play video games and they play games really well. I like to acknowledge that. I like talent when I see it. A great athlete at whatever level that you're at. I told my daughter the other day, I told her, I said, as you're about to graduate high school and go off into the world, never, ever at any point in your life dim yourself to the talent of those around you. Meaning, if she gets into a work situation and everybody else is lazy and they're not putting in their best effort, I'm like, I don't need you to be like them. I need you to know what the standard is. And at the minimum, all I'm asking is to meet the standard. I don't care if you exceed the standard. But in today's day and age, with the way that a lot of these people are, if you just simply meet the standard, you're already setting yourself apart. Because a good bit of people don't even meet the standard. All right. I just saw that my brother tagged me on something. Let me see what he's talking about. Yeah, see, he ain't watching my live. He's doing something the way he could tag me, but he ain't watching my live stream. It's all right. It's okay. You said that you had a lack of experience that made you feel that way. I get it. I get it. You were new to the game and you felt like your camera wasn't as fancy as others, so you lowered your price. Ah, I understand you saying that. I do. Yet you were there, you belonged, and whoever that was that told you that mentor very early on, or you said somebody had to have that conversation with you, they were looking out for you. They cared enough about you to share that observation with you. And I don't know if you made the adjustment when they did immediately or if it took some time. I really hope that you did, because you have to understand what your worth is and not undervalue yourself just to be seen or just to get in. I've done it, and I know that it doesn't it doesn't help you in the long term. It's really not something that you should rely on or count on 24/7, because you could get comfortable in that and watch other people that you're better than reap more benefits than you when you have more worth than what they have. And it's kind of subjective, right? It's subjective to other people. Don't let it be subjective internally. You say you made the changes immediately. That's good. That's great. That's great. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tag my brother and let him know that I talked about his ass in this live stream. Uh, you were talked about. If he does actually go back and check it, I'm gonna see what he says about it. All right, that's my live stream for today. I got some gaming to do, so I'm about to go do that. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button, and I'll be back next Wednesday. I'm out. Peace.